Hello, beautiful souls. Lori Rising here. Happy Taurus new moon and welcome to the massive DNA and cellular upgrade that we are currently moving through. Wow, y'all. I know you're feeling it. You're feeling something out there, whether it's anticipation, excitement, trust, and distrust. I'll get more into that in a little bit. Maybe even some fear, but you're absolutely being presented with so many opportunities to practice your response and up level the frequency of this planet right now in deep co-creation with some beautiful light pouring in. So we're going to get into all of it. So much going down. First of all, like I said, I'm Lori Rising. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, we are so happy to bring you into this beautiful soul community. Definitely hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Check out my podcast. Check out the episodes. Watch my previous podcast, Healing Pain, that I'm going to link up here because it is going to help you navigate what you're feeling right now. When you can't quite put your finger on it or find the result of it, this is where you're at. We're in the healing pain where the expansion comes from the welcoming in it, the invitation in the healing pain, like staying with it instead of retreating and going back to wasn't working before. So check that out. And also, I am a star channel, a trauma-informed healer of lifetimes, a soul medicine guide. And really, I am our biggest cheerleader into our majesty, our divinity, and our full lights shining bright AF on this planet, in these lives, in these bodies and vessels. So if you want to know more about me and my programs and offerings, check them all out at my hub, therawandwildhearts.com. Just so you know, I am actually right now in a huge launch for one of my biggest online containers called Soul Biz Streamline. I just finished 5 days of IG lives, 30 minutes each day. So if you like the podcast and you like these videos, head over to my Instagram and check those out because this is real time healing of what we're experiencing in the energies right now. So that takes me to what we do in these videos. I tap into the big energies that are coming through from the planets at the new and full moons, and whatever's coming through in my channel and what's happening in the collective through my channel is what I share deepest in these videos. Definitely stick around because we do a card read at the end to see what the guides have to say and how they want to help us move forward towards our destiny in more ease. So let's get to it. Of course, let's drop into the eclipses, especially that Scorpio lunar eclipse. Wow. This is the generational wound healing. We are in the deepest places that we've ever been because that was the final Scorpio eclipse before we move into the next nodal axis of Aries and Libra. So it really dug deep to bring up all of the intensity, the imprints, and those core wounds that have come through generation to generation to generation that have never been disrupted in the full feeling of them. Like the feeling is alive in your cells, and that might be where you could be in states of fear or confusion as to why this is coming up, because it doesn't make linear sense based on how your life is at this moment, because it's literally the planetary energies that have like zapped into your cells and opened that up for us, because Scorpio wants to do a really good job in the underbelly, in what isn't on the surface, to transform it. Death, right? Death and taxes is what Scorpio is. So this is where we get to our resources and the value in our resources, right? Now I'm going to go further there in a second, but I just want to say and feel into this as I say it. This is the place where we tap into the feelings or the experiences that our ancestors went through where they had real danger afoot. They had very real fears of not having food, of not having enough money to care for their family, of not showing their light and who they were because of shame, guilt, self-sacrifice, violence, assault, even death. So these are very intense emotions that I'm talking about that have a place within ourselves because they haven't been disrupted through lineage. Now, here's the good news. More than likely, you are safe right now, right here in this moment. And if you do not feel safe in this moment, please reach out to the appropriate channels for help. But more than likely, you feel safe in this moment. And in this moment is where you access the power of transformation through your body, through your cells, where you heal that imprint and wound for all of the timelines and all of the generation. You get to heal it back and you get to heal it forward from what you're doing right here and now. And that is why this eclipse has basically offered you on a platter all kinds of opportunities to do the work, to do the healing work and the response. When we get to the place where the trauma actually opens for the transmutation or transformation out of our bodies, that's when we feel it at its highest intensity. And that is the point where many people, based on what they have thought and experienced in the past and held on to, the stories they've held on to in the past of who they were, of what they felt, they'll retreat back to and create a tension and a tightness and a suppression and suppress that memory or imprint back down into the cells. And then we live in that space of fear and pain and scarcity at a low level. So when we get to this healing pain, when we have this supreme co-creation with all of consciousness around us, with the planet's nature, with the sun and the light, it's the time to take the risk and the leap, knowing that you're safe. Like, be in your reality that you are safe and you can open this up, and then access your trust that as you open it up and it releases, as you move through the intensity and you welcome the intensity to get on the other side, then you have moved through it. And now you have a new place of expansion within your soul for what wants to come in now in so many ways. So just let yourself be easy and gentle and find those avenues of healing that really align for you right now, because you're doing deep work for many, many people. And as you do this work, you're going to emanate out the new frequency and you're going to invite others in. You're going to create the ripple effect and you're going to invite others in, especially those that are close to you in your community, in your families, your kids, your friends, your partner. You're going to give them an access point to move into it without controlling their experience, without telling them, you have to do this work too, especially if they're not ready, if they're not eager. If people don't know what's on the other side, if they haven't started to experience the results of soul growth, of intentional practice, they may still be in a very deep state of resistance. So just by you doing your work and letting that out into the field around you, you're making a deep shift in their experience. Release the timeline and do your new earth light work. If you don't know what it is, I have it in my containers. Like, this is our new currency. This is where the value is, in frequency, in energy, and light. It's never gotten us anywhere in places of control, stress, or resistance, has it? It's only taken us into dis-ease and imbalance and unwellness and unwholeness. and living from a dimmed light. So we are in a very divine opportunity with the Aries solar eclipse right before the Scorpio. That gave us this really beautiful boost of confidence and trust. It was like, I could feel it. It was like this tidal wave that moved through my cells that was like, yes, keep going. You are on the right track. You've got all of the knowledge. We're going to keep supporting you. So even when, because we are in this culture and the constructs around us until we fully change them. So even when that energy comes in, or those mindsets rear back up, the belief systems of lack of self-worth, of what we deem as failure, right? Of scarcity, you have the tools. Apply them. Be in your space of response. Because, I mean, the last 2 weeks has been almost a relentless place of waking up and being so wildly intentional with every single moment of my day, with everything that's happening in my world. And it's deep. And I feel the permanence of this transformation in me. And I know, I trust that the abundance and the magnetization or manifestation is going to come. Doesn't mean it's going to come immediately in this immediate gratification place that we tend to be. And if we don't get it, then we panic and then we backtrack and then we react, right? You can feel that loop. It means that the longer I sustain this higher frequency and don't let myself slip back into the reaction, which I almost did this morning, y'all. I'm going to be real with you. I almost slipped back into the reaction this morning. Then I gave an IG live and then I was like, Lori, you are sharing your own medicine. So I'm really happy I didn't send that email because it's given me an opportunity to dive deeper. That is the Scorpio signature. Get deeper, get into the underbelly because you're going to find the goods. You're going to create really amazing transformation there. One of the signatures of Scorpio is the phoenix rising from the ashes, but you've got to burn it down first to get to the ashes and find your phoenix. This is where we are. So even in the discomfort, let yourself be there because I know that there is an excitement in your cells that you know it's not going to stay. You know it's not going to stay. And this brings me to where we're going with Taurus, the new moon in Taurus. So again, we're still on this axis of Scorpio, Taurus in the eclipses, and now we're getting into the school of Taurus. So we're really diving into scarcity and what are our values? Because historically, we have attached scarcity to all of our values, right? Scarcity in time, in money, in energy, in relationship, in self-worth. So Jupiter is moving into Taurus on May 16th, and it's going to be there until May of 2024. Uranus is in Taurus until 2026. And we have the final Taurus eclipse coming up in, I wrote it down. Did I write it down? October 28th is the final Taurus lunar eclipse. So what we're working on now, which is moving into our destiny, the highest frequency of Taurus, is going to help us elevate and keep ascending. And then when we hit October 28th of that lunar eclipse, that's going to let us actually excavate the things that didn't come along with us, the things that maybe were too intense for our conscious mind to open up at this time, right? As we're working with all of these Taurus energies. So like the eclipse is going to reveal the energies and the wounds that we don't feel like we're ready to do yet in a subconscious way even. And the eclipses, it's like the eclipse, I get this as like earthquake, right? It like comes under the ground and it just opens it up. And it's like, all right, you want to take a ride or do you want to stay with what wasn't working? So just know that that's on the horizon, but really drop deeply into working with the Taurus energies now. And what's on the horizon, it's going to be almost like a piece of cake when it comes, because you've already been like bringing it up. You've already been opening up to these spaces. So this is why I actually do want to talk about the destiny of Taurus that we're moving towards and what we need to be careful of in the lower frequency of Taurus, because we're moving towards that beauty in simplicity, in stillness, in nature, in value. And what are your resources, right? Because the lower frequency of Taurus is like my resources, right? So the lower frequency is like the resources that I need all around me to keep me in balance. What I'm looking for externally, I need that space of control around my life for me to feel well and okay in this body, in this experience. And the transformation with all of the Taurus energies and the North Node in Taurus is us finding the deepest well of resources within ourselves. And that means dismantling and disrupting the scarcity programs and imprints that have been moving through generations. So we have to actually allow ourselves to drop into those spaces that our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, that they really truly felt, and have compassion in those spaces. Bring in a place of love so they can feel that, of safety and security in the nature around them, in the bounty that we have around us. I'm so deeply in this right now because I'm now on my land, and it's been a good couple of months now, and I just am seeing so much abundance in this land. Like everywhere I look, the rain, I see that as like, I catch it and use that to water my plants with. And I see food all over the ground. Like I don't even like mowing my lawn. I do mow my lawn, but I notice a resistance in there because the dandelions are everywhere and I still want to harvest more and more of them, right? Even the spruce trees, like it's like I can't get enough right now. I want to absorb and learn everything in this space of elevation and in this co-creation with the earth and the planets, and how we do this really, really well together in flow when we're all in harmony. So speaking of the co-creation, y'all, are you on your space weather app? Because that is going wild. The solar flares, the plasmic light, the photonic light, like the geomagnetic conditions, the Schumann resonance, the Earth's heartbeat, all of it is absolutely lit up right now. The northern lights, like the clarity on the planet is so clear. I got to see the northern lights on my land. I thought I was going to have to fly to go do that to Norway or Iceland. I've been calling them in, but yet I thought, my linear mind thought I had to like take this big expensive trip. And this is where we're going, to the miracles that we've never experienced, but that we came here to be in. And the more that we do this transformation, the more the solar flares and lights activate, and the more the entire universe expands. We are absolutely a part of it. We're not just sitting here receiving it. It's because of the work that we've been doing too. That has absolutely been shifting the foundation of this earth, because we are the earth. It's all consciousness in different form, and we're coming together with our form. And it's like, I just got our superpower in whatever form it is, right? The earth gets to transform the soil and the water, and we get to transform through the body, and the heavens transform through the planets and the sun and the moon and the light and the dark, right? And we all affect each other. Gosh, it's just so beautiful. Are you feeling me? Let me know in the comments. Like, are you resonating with what I'm throwing down here with the eclipse energy? because it feels to me, I just gave a huge talk on this on my IG Live about the scarcity in money and time. And those are so linked. They're so entangled, right? Because we've constantly been in this, like, I don't have enough money, and so I have to work really hard because that's the only way money is going to come in. So then I don't have enough time. So then I'm in scarcity for the rest of my life. And then I'm in misalignment because I don't have the capacity to do all these other things in my life. And then I'm in stress, right? You see where I'm going with this loop. I just transformed it and I'm living the results. When I changed my belief into money and how we are in a relationship, and I believe that I have enough time for everything, because I was stressing. I had a launch and it's spring on my land, my first spring here on my land. So there's lots of projects to do. I want to get gardens going. I want to grow food. I want to do all this stuff, but yet I have this launch and I've got to bring money in for my business in order to have the land. You see, I got into this loop. And then I was in full on stress because I didn't even want to do the launch because I was in a struggle because yet I wanted to do the acreage stuff. And once I stopped the struggle and literally did neither of them and took myself out into nature and gave myself space in a day and let myself feel joy and just reactivate in the present moment and be very intentional about believing in time and money instead of fearing time and money, everything has unfolded in a brand new light and a brand new experience. Soft nervous system all the way through. This is where we go in magnetization. This is how we bring more in. And then when we sustain this, that's when we're going to be unstoppable, y'all. It's true. We are going to be unstoppable. So we're in the final moments of the Mercury retrograde in Taurus. So that's where energy has slowed down enough, even with the ramped up eclipse energy, it's slowed down enough for us to actually have this time to pause and look, like, how do I feel about my money? How do I feel about my time? What do I value in my life? And how am I sabotaging myself by not valuing these things, by not holding them in love and softness and care, right? So when you shift your value, when you put your value into these resources to supply you with more experiences, expansion, and knowledge into soul's growth, where you find that alignment, that's like why we have resources. It's like we've been using an energy around resources that has kept us from resources in such a place of tension and stress. And this is all, it's literally, it can be free for you to do. It does take your time and energy and practice and intention. But when are you going to make that leap? Because there's a very big distinction. I felt it immensely there was one energy one day, I broke, I changed the energy, I disrupted it. I totally pulled out for a day and got so wildly present. And since then, it has been a completely different energy. So it's like, when are you going to take that step? Are you feeling that? So in between the two, especially in the beginning, that's the healing pain. And then where you go is how you're going to respond in that. And if you keep reacting, you're staying in the loop and you're creating more of it and you're just amplifying that energy and frequency. But when you pull yourself out and create a new response and change the energy, that's when you create the healing with the practice. And that's when the universe shows up in droves with all kinds of opportunities for you to keep practicing. I tell people this that come into my containers, because we go through such an evolution and acceleration together. And then it's like you come back to normal life or daily life. And then you can easily get sucked back in to those reactions or habits if you're not doing the intentional practice. It's like, that's the way to fortify where you've gone. And oftentimes we just let ourselves go back into defeat and we just kind of backtrack into what we've known, because those neural patterns are really strong too. So that's why it's like, that's why I always say be wildly intentional. Like, and even if it's so hard and it's so stressful, give yourself a day to like rest, get good sleep. Sometimes that is the antidote because that is some of our deepest innate healing. So get beautiful sleep and you will have all kinds of new information and downloads and energy pulsating through your body that wants to help you in that rebirth, in that reset. Use guided meditation, right? There's so many tools to access. Breath work, movement, dance. When you do any kind of embodiment right now, it's like the answers come. I promise. But you've got to be fully in that present moment. You've got to fully disconnect or sever those cords that you've been holding on to that have been keeping you in that stress loop or that resistance place. So we do really need to be careful right now with the grand fixed square that is between Pluto, the nodes, and Mars, because fixed energy can be very resistant and stubborn. And we actually want to use, in Taurus, that's fixed energy. So we want to use fixed energy to be persistent in our new expansive pursuits. Remember that. Even write it down. Use fixed energy to be persistent in your new expansive pursuits and responses. And healing work through the healing pain. So, how are you feeling out there? Let me know in the comments. Is this resonating with you? What's coming up for you right now? So, like I said, we're in the school of Taurus. We've got, I wrote them all down, so I didn't forget, Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter's moving into Taurus, big move, North Node in Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Mercury in Taurus at this new moon, okay? So really follow the Taurus lead, keep getting more and more still and simple and quiet, get out into nature, bare feet on the ground, in the grass, roll around, breathe the dirt, hug the tree, sing to the tree, you know, life force to life force, bring your solar plexus in, your pelvic bowl center, jump into the containers that are speaking to your cells right now. I have a big one opening up on Tuesday. And if you want to dive into very like profound practices that I have curated for you, you don't have to go find them or figure them out. You literally put the value in your investment of your money, your time, and your energy. And I take you on that ride. And it is profound. Soul Biz Streamline dropping Tuesday. Okay. So before we get to the card read, I just am going to go over a few aspects here that are happening. So Jupiter conjunct the North Node. We're finishing Mercury retrograde up this Sunday, the 14th, before the new moon, but we'll be in the shadow until the 31st. Okay, so just know that. And then Jupiter square Pluto. This one's a big one. So I just wanted to finish on this where we really want to, but with a square, there can be a struggle or a tension, but also we want to look at it as like, how can they assist each other? What's the relationship here? And how can they work together instead of struggle against each other, right? And that you can apply that to your life when you're feeling a struggle. How can you work together with whatever's happening outside of you that you're struggling with? So with this, Jupiter in Taurus, Pluto in Aquarius, let's look at using Jupiter in Taurus, which is expansive in our simplicity, our love, where we put our value, beauty, nature, persistence, presence. Let's use that to transform and help Pluto out, because Pluto is all about death and rebirth, and Pluto's in Aquarius right now. So it's all about the huge transformation in higher technology, in humanity, in our friendships, in networking, in innovation. So let's use coming back into the present moment and what we have accessible at our fingertips to transform and elevate all of those areas of life. Technology, social media, friendships, networking, how we do business together, how we innovate together, what we create, what can we invent that's going to take us even further into this place of abundance and love and benevolence in this universe, deeper into unity consciousness. Because we are creating the ripple effect, it is tipping into so much more light than density. So let's keep going, and let's keep using and co-creating with astrology in a way that has never been done before. We have to stop just looking at astrology and how we've learned it through books or history, because we can go so much bigger with it, which is why I launched in Mercury in retrograde, which in the past, if you know astrology, that's a little bit of a faux pas. And now I know I did it divinely, even for my own unfolding, because it has given me all these opportunities at huge transformation in my life with the planetary energies and the imprints and wounds that are coming up in my cells because of the eclipses. So instead of just having the bottom line of, or the stress of like, oh, I need this many people in this container, or what does that say about me? Or is my business going to go down? Or all the what ifs, right? Or I need this amount of money because there's not enough anywhere else. Then I miss out on the beautiful places of all of the unfolding of expansion and evolution that are available through all of those opportunities. And believe me, I have had the opportunities, and those will be shared in the container of Soul Biz Streamline. So here we go. I know this was longer, but y'all, we are in big times right now. And I hope that you're still here. I hope this has absolutely perked your cells up and you're a full yes on where we're going in this energy and what I've brought in through my intuitive channel and through the collective field. So, bum, bum, bum. I'm using my Earth Spirit cards today because even though this is like really deep, I don't feel like we're stuck in the muck or in the shadow for very long anymore. I feel like we now have such an accessibility to tap into where we can go and what we know is possible. And if you're not feeling that, keep finding the mentors and the guides that share that truth with you. Your body will tell you that they're walking their talk. Saturn in Pisces is helping you out here. You know when it's fully authentic, when it's the root that you need for the deepest places of shifting in your life. And you'll know if it's just a message or if it's just a brand or if they're not actually living the experience. So trust yourself there. That's even more practice. Yeah, okay. So interesting. I love these cards. The first card is Seer. The second card is Spirit of the West, which is water. And the third card is Drought. And I feel like all of these cards are so linked together. So let's put them all together, because the Seer, like, look at the light in the soul's eyes and the spirit's eyes. Look at the strength and the confidence in that stature. Yeah. And the growth, the life around, the color. I just love it. Okay. So you are a seer, and you are a seer through your senses. This is our innate language. Energy is our innate language, and our bodies came in to translate it. So this, just like with her eyes as light and the third eye right there with a crystal on it, this is the divine sight that you have. Keep asking for whatever you're working with before you go to sleep, and get a great night's sleep, because your dreams are sharing the answers with you. Your rebirth and refresh in the morning gives you a new foundation to work from, to magnetize from, and to listen in, right? So keep doing the guided meditations, right? If you have to, push play. If you can't settle it down, if you can't settle down the constant stream of thoughts or resistance, just push play and find yourself in that non-resistant thought, even if it's right before you go to bed, so that you come into that beautiful state of balance and you're open and available for what's trying to come in guidance, because that is our deepest cosmic connection when our pineal gland is strong and our melatonin is high. And Spirit of the West with water, let yourself flow with this. Let yourself flow through the rapids that you might feel like you're in right now. Trust that there is smooth waters on the way. Let yourself go through the bends, because the more that you stop struggling and you let yourself float even through the rapids, the water will take you to where you weren't trying to go, but where you divinely were meant to end up. And in the last card with drought, this is my favorite card actually, because there's so much light in there and there's also water. We just can't see it with our eyes. We can feel it, we can sense it, we can smell it, we can intuitively find it. So we have to look to where we've not been looking or setting our sight on so far. And this is where I say, do you want to go back to what wasn't working because of a fear that you've created from stories that are no longer you? So let yourself look in new places. Let yourself just dive into new responses. Let yourself have a day of creativity, of painting, of joy, right? Inject your life with joy, create laughter, medicine all around you. Do something that just puts you so fully in the moment and so fully in the vibrancy of life that there's no other option in your energy, and let that bring you into more flow in the waters. Let that open up new places of messages and support and guidance, and I just got the message with drought. Everything that you encounter through your day actually has a message for you. How deeply and how open are you willing and ready to go into it, to feel into it, to let yourself sit with it? So just especially now, also let the energy of whatever you're working on and working with go beyond, transcend the resistance, and let it just be, and let go of the time construct. And I know that you will get an answer. I continue to get answers. And just be so delighted when it comes, and be in this place of deep appreciation and gratitude, and trust that it's going to come again. We got so blinded with this, like, oh, it's just a coincidence. It's not. It's messages. It's guidance. It's our majesty. We're here to experience what we haven't known yet. And we're the creators of that reality in that world. So I hope that these messages have been very supportive for you. Please share this video if you've gotten some value out of it and you know somebody else could. Like it, subscribe. When I hit 1K subscribers on here, I'm giving away a free 90-minute astrology and Akashic Records reading. That's worth $200 and it's invaluable. It will change the trajectory of where you're going in this experience. I can promise you that. If you're interested in my new online container, it's going to be the only one that I do for a very long time. Jump in. The launch price is still up until tonight, Friday night at midnight. And I threw in an extra bonus. There are so many bonuses in this course, y'all. I'm also throwing in my new astral travel meditation called Meet Your Guide. So if you want to get some deep messages right now, if you want to connect with one of your guides, that's it. That's the way you push play. Get curious and available. Be in a space of belief and trust. And I have been getting so many beautiful messages back from the people that have won this gift through my Instagram lives, what their experience has been and the profound expansion that they've gone through in those moments. Let me know if you have questions. Send me an email at therawandwildhearts@gmail.com. Get on my website, therawandwildhearts.com. Links are all below. I would love to work deeper with you. Is it our time? Your cells will tell you if it's time to get into one of my containers and experience the magic that happens and the life-changing expansion and acceleration that we go through together. You are a part of that. Every person that makes up these containers opens the circle and brings the energy that me and my guides vibrate in and create from. It's so exciting. This is the new Earth awakening. We are in it, y'all. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you for continuing to show up on this wild and raw human ride. I'm just so happy to be here with you. So until next time, don't forget to keep looking up.